Have you ever been so bored to the point where you think to yourself, what purpose does the law have in our community? Well, I have too. If it wasn't obvious enough, the purpose of laws is to keep everybody from waging war from each other. Without laws, we would be living in a society where the purge is a normal way of life. Modesty wouldn't be a thing. Modesty wouldn't be a thing. Murder would be a common thing, and the air would reek of death. Without movies like The Purge, I cannot imagine what it would be like to live under constant fear. I think that humanity would just have a constant cycle of constant killings, and it scares me. It is something that somebody my age shouldn't be thinking of. People these days will say that breaking the laws is cool. Well, consider it actually. But really, it's not. It was laid down by our ancestors so we don't cause anarchy amongst each other's lives. The purpose of laws in our community is so that businesses can thrive without the threat of robbers and looters. If laws were not put in place, currency would have no use because you can steal anything we want. Society, well, not just society, but humanity wouldn't be able to advance because there would be constant disruption and constant crimes being committed that we can't even think of any other way of life other than kill, do this and that. If there was law enforcement wouldn't be any use because there would be no laws to protect or support. Even if there was law enforcement, they would just turn corrupt and commit crimes like the rest of the people do, you know? There would just be people like, I think the only way to survive this kind of world that I'm talking about is hire a bodyguard to protect you, yeah. That would be the law enforcement. Legends like Jack the Ripper and Ted Bundy wouldn't exist. Well, you wouldn't know of them because murder is so common to the point where you don't know who was alive yesterday and who's alive today. Good morals would only exist to those people who are sane enough to even think of the evils that crimes give. Something as simple as walking your dog is equivalent to a World War II bomber flying over German skies alone. Wholesome things that you do today would not exist because crimes run rampant. Governments would exist, but it would just be filled with people who claim to be this position and commit crimes themselves. Laws were laid down so that children can go to school safely, so that the elderly can go feed birds in the park without being mugged, or whatever old people do, so that people can go to work without the worry of being ambushed, so that people can spend time with family and friends without having to worry who they're gonna lose next, or who is gonna get robbed next. I do hope that this brief explanation was helpful, and I hope you come back. Just kidding. We're actually going to be covering 3 topics today. I've already covered 1, so 2 more to go. Next up, we're going to be talking about the levels of force a police officer can use. So there are 5 levels a police officer can use. And those are professional, tactical, threshold, harmful, and lethal. This guy read it exactly how it was shown on Google because he was lazy to edit. I can't remember off the top of my head. I will explain to you every level of this staircase because my grades depend on it. I'm holding on to threads here. Someone please send help. I don't know how long we can hold them off. We're encircled by the enemy. Please send help. Broken arrow. I say again, broken arrow. I don't know how long we can hold them off. Starting with the lowest step on the staircase is professional. This is basically when the subject that a police officer is interacting with do not pose any threat and is very compliant with the police officer. So, our police officer will then react with cooperative control-like manner. On to the next step of the staircase, we have the subject is resistant but is passive, meaning they don't want to give you the driver's license but they're not aggressive. Then our police officer will react in a contact control-like manner. Now on to the next part, we have threshold. This is when the subject is being resistant and active, meaning the subject is resisting arrest. In this situation, our officer will respond with compliant techniques. This is where things start to get rowdy and all cowboy-like. Onto our second last step of the stairs, we have is harmful. This is when the life of an officer is in danger. This is when the subject is assaultive and aggressive, meaning they will smack, wiggle around, hit you, kiss you, whatever it is, just so they can get away. So the officer in hand will respond with defensive tactics, meaning they're gonna threaten to shoot you or tase you. Now on to the very last step of the stairs. We have lethal. This is the very final step of the stairs, so you already know this is gonna be the worst. This is when the subject wants to flat out kill you. He doesn't care about your family or loved ones. He just wants to erase you from this earth because of your status as a police officer, or the fact that they are hiding something. So in retaliation, the police officer will respond with defensive tactics to defend himself in order to preserve his way of life. This is when the officer is able to use lethal force in order to survive, meaning he would kill the subject.